So it's Valentine's weekend, and I am spending it at Mardi Gras. And one of the things that I wanted that came to me as I was even just like preparing this bouquet was this saying, "Stop and smell the roses," right? And I think it's so appropriate for this particular weekend. But sometimes you have to do yourself one a little bit better. Don't just stop and smell the roses. Like, stop, smell the roses, buy the whole bushel, right? And then make yourself a bouquet. Because why not, right? If it makes you happy. And this particular bouquet does that.
I said what I said, no shame, no regret. Oh, this fire you can't forget. Own it loud, say it proud. I said what I said, no backing down. I said what I said.
Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to I Said What I Said from New Orleans, Louisiana, Mardi Gras 2026. Let's get into it. So I'm standing on the parade route right now at St. Charles and really just taking it in. Today is the Monday before Fat Tuesday, so it's Lundi Gras today. I'm on St. Charles, and this weekend has been one for the books. Full recap to come, but I had to bring you out on the actual route with me. I've got my bouquet here. I'm literally standing in front of culture, right? Louisiana culture. And this episode is really going to be full of Louisiana culture because when you're here in Mardi Gras, like you're learning about it whether you want to or not, right? And I have taken in so much about queenship, right? I've taken in so much about royalty because the root of this dates back an innocence, honestly, an innocence of adults wanting to feel like children again and take on royalty, right? Take on royalty. And the crews were established, more facts to come, but I had to bring you out in the element with me. This episode is going to be packed with interviews from people. And honestly, and to be honest, it's been filled with ups and downs. What you don't know is I'm actually recording this episode on an iPhone 8 because the first night of Mardi Gras, I was a part of a pickpocketing scheme where 71 phones were recovered and five were responsible. And so nostalgic has brought back me to this tradition right here in New Orleans, and I'm excited to share it with you. Stay tuned. So it's Valentine's weekend, and I am spending it at Mardi Gras. And one of the things that I wanted that came to me as I was even just like preparing this bouquet was this saying, "Stop and smell the roses," right? And I think it's so appropriate for this particular weekend. But sometimes you have to do yourself one a little bit better. Don't just stop and smell the roses. Like, stop, smell the roses, buy the whole bushel, right? And then make yourself a bouquet. Because why not, right? Like, why not? If it makes you happy. And this particular bouquet does that. This Valentine's is all about purple, green, and gold, and understanding what that really means. Purple actually represents justice in the Mardi Gras theme, green representing faith, and gold representing power. And I'm like, yes, just calling all of that in, right? Justice has already been served because the people who stole my phone have already been caught, right? Justice has been served double time because it didn't stop me from recording this podcast episode. And I'm doing it on an iPhone 8, right? Justice has already been served. Power, like overcoming the challenges that have literally come with navigating in the 20th century what it means when you lose your phone, man, that has taken a lot of faith. It has. It's taken a lot of faith, but it's allowed me then to tap into deeper levels of power inside of myself that I did not know even existed through this experience. And so I'm grateful. The night that it happened, your girl was having the time of her life. So it ain't stopped no show, as you can see. It has not stopped the show. But it has slowed it down, and it has brought up other challenges that were not expected, right? But you navigate those, and I'm doing that today, and I've done that all weekend, with justice, faith, and power at the forefront. So we're still on the parade path right now, headed down St. Charles. Okay, welcome back, beautiful souls. And as you can see, I am not on the street anymore. I'm not on the parade route or on the river walk any longer. I have settled myself in. And I really just wanted to take a moment to just recap this final episode, or not final episode, but final segment of this episode, because what a weekend, right? I thought I was going to be vlogging all weekend, and it turns out that I went off the grid night one when my phone was stolen, right? And you roll with the punches, and that's exactly what I did. And it turned out to be quite a beautiful weekend despite it all. And it's interesting because I was watching a show actually on Netflix, and I was watching this scenario unfold with a father and his son. And the father is an entrepreneur, self employed, and he's celebrating like his restaurant chain expanding into the largest metro cities across the US, right? And in walks his son, and his son has pretty heavy news that he's getting ready to lay on his dad, lay on his parents, because his wife was there as well. And um, it in a moment, like the dad's uh, world changes, right? He goes from celebrating life and huge success to his son now bringing him uh, not so celebratory news, right? His son comes to him and tells him that the college that he just got accepted into, the tuition that was just paid on his behalf, and the dream that his parents thought that he would fulfill, being the first black man in their family to go to this particular college, was now crushed, right? He tells his dad all of this, and what happens? It takes precedent, right? The son says to the father, Dad, I'm so sorry. I didn't even want to come in here with all of this, knowing that you had your big news that you were celebrating. And the father responds, such is life. And he gets up from the table and he walks off, right? And it's so interesting when you think about it. Life is full of highs and lows, right? In the lows that you can really truly value the highs, right? You value, life is full of joyful moments, but it's going to have sad moments as well, right? There's light that exists in the world the same way that darkness exists in the world. And when you think about life from that perspective, you can value the good. And Friday night, y'all, when all of everything went down and this cell phone ring was being executed during like one of the largest Endymion parades, it was such a high. Like it was so much fun happening around, right? That this moment wasn't going to steal or take that, right? And I think it's so important, though, to acknowledge that you can value the highs, you can value the good of life so much more when you acknowledge that there's going to be lows, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be hard times as well. And so this weekend has really shown me that in real life. And finding the moments to, okay, let me pause and figure out this next step to get my phone recovered, replaced through insurance, thank God. Let me figure out this next step of, okay, how do I navigate my way back home while I wait on this phone to meet me there? Like all of these things are moments, that real life moments, right? But then being able to step out of that moment and say, okay, I'm going to take a pause now and live, right? I'm going to take a pause now and enjoy the life that I have in front of me. And I'm not going to let this moment consume all of the good that's happening around me, all of the good that exists despite this moment. And so, as I have continued to navigate the weekend, I've learned so much about Mardi Gras, and I cannot wait to share it with you. You've seen the streets, but I've really dove deeper, and I just kind of wanted to even unpack some of the things that I've learned. This episode's a little bit different because being in this submersive experience, one of the things that I learned is that a lot of people come to Mardi Gras and they don't even know what they're celebrating. They don't know what it means. They don't know what the tradition is about. And I really want to just like take a moment to bring it to the forefront and share more about what I've actually learned about Mardi Gras, right? One of the things that I think is like really an interesting fact about Mardi Gras, that, makes it different from a lot of other parades. And a lot of other parades now have like adopted this tradition, but this was the one that started throwing all of the babble. Like, babble is considered to be the beads and the cups and all of the paraphernalia, the t-shirts, and oh my gosh, y'all, like I've gathered so much stuff and I had so much fun gathering it, right? Like, as a grown woman, as an adult, how many times do you have the opportunity to like jump around, dance, wave, uh, dive for beads? Like, and this is why, going back to the beginning in the story, even about the cruise and how Mardi Gras was established, why it was established around the idea, social clubs having the idea that adults needed to have more fun, right? And so, why not create a tradition? Why not create an experience that allows them to have more fun? Y'all bear with me because I want to make sure that um, I got my facts correct as I navigate through this particular episode. But um, Babel is one of the things that makes these parades like such a big deal. And there are literally upward of 3,500 parades um, that have taken place and that take place have taken place over the years through the Mardi Gras season. Bobble is one of the things that makes Mardi Gras parades and traditions such a big deal. But I really wanted to even like address the idea about Mardi Gras being connected to religion, whether or not it is or not. And it actually is. It's connected to the Catholic Church, and it's the idea of Mardi Gras is a farewell to flesh season, right? This season, right after Christmas, it typically opens up in January, but that varies based off the date of Easter as well. And so it goes back 47 days from Easter. And Easter changes on our calendar. And so that's why the Mardi Gras season can shift and move on the calendar as well. But at the start of what's considered to be carnival season, Mardi Gras is a day That day is actually tomorrow. Fat Tuesday is the Mardi Gras day. That's really technically Mardi Gras, right? The entire season around Mardi Gras is called Carnival. We've referred to it as Mardi Gras season, but the technical term is actually Carnival. And this season pre Lent, and it's a feasting period that happens before the fasting period of Lent. And so I thought, oh my gosh, like what a fun fact to share, and understand fully, like, okay, what's happening here, right? The Catholic Church acknowledges a farewell to flesh, and they celebrate and they feast that prior to going into then fasting for the Lent season that leads all the way up to Easter. So I just thought that was something like a really cool that I wanted to kind of pinpoint. And for all of those out there who are watching this episode who are a fan of Mardi Gras, let me know in the comments if you've been. Tell me about your experience, because mine was a wild one, as you can see. Not wild in the untraditional sense. And I want to take a minute to just acknowledge that, because there's another myth right out there that Mardi Gras is just wild, right? There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of people in a city, and in any environment where there's a lot of people coming together in one space, there's going to be a lot going on, right? But from the sense of just like women walking around topless, like throwing their shirts up and exposing their breasts like all over the streets, that's not what this actual event is about. And I wanted to just like put a pin there, because, sometimes what you hear, what you've heard through the grapevine and not necessarily experienced, can be a deterrent to you actually submerging yourself in massive amounts of culture and tradition that have been foundational to this city, right? And so I really just wanted to acknowledge that that's not what I experienced at all. I've actually experienced lots of love outside of, what's going to happen. But I experienced lots of love and lots of family. And that's something that is really big. Mardi Gras is actually really big. This is a family friendly festival, and it's a family friendly environment. And so if you've not ever brought your family out here, it's something that you can absolutely do. Even at the Riverwalk today, you'll see in one of the video clips where they've got a kids stage and they've got a whole area specifically for kids. The kids, oh my gosh, they love the parades, right? If parades are happening day and night, literally every night from the start of carnival season, which is 30 some odd, 47 days of parades, right? Like the kids are having a time. Even I learned that the schools closed during this final week. Schools are out. Like they shut the schools down for this event. It's a pretty big deal. And I know that you know that, but like being in it, if you've not experienced it, it's something that you should definitely experience. And I would not leave your family behind. I'll definitely have baby girl with me next time, because I want her to have the opportunity to experience the world that we live in and to know about culture. And there's a lot of culture that exists here in New Orleans, Louisiana, and specifically in Mardi Gras. And so, yeah, I thought that was like a really cool. And I wanted to make sure that I took the time to acknowledge that. Okay, one thing that I have to say though, because I collected tons of beads and bauble, something that no one talks about is the weight of these beads, though, right? You start weighing yourself down with beads and bob cups that, whew, no one talks about it, right? Like it gets heavy. And if you can imagine, you've been walking the streets. We were walking the streets, kind of following float. We were stationary in one area, but when the parade got really going, we were kind of moving with the parade, right? So that makes it really fun. And I found myself like at one point just really heavily weighed down with beads, right? And no one talks about how heavy they are. And so I just wanted to take a moment to just acknowledge that, yeah, like it looks easy, but by the time you then got yourself settled back to the vehicle, back to the house, you realize that you've gotten a really good workout in from all the walking, jumping, waving, diving, right? And then carrying all of your goodies back home. And so the entire Mardi Gras event, all of the parades, all of the balls, all of the celebration that happens in the city, it's all coordinated by individuals. I thought that was huge. It's all funded by individuals. It's not funded by big name sponsors. Each one of these social clubs and or organizations, groups, smaller groups within crews is what they're referred to. They all have their own means of raising funds, and they fund this entire event and all of what is attached to that, right? As you can imagine, the floats, all of the things that are being given out, all of the staff that it takes to run. And I think that to be able to put on such a huge production for over 100 years and to do that self-funded, that's a pretty big deal. It's also extremely inspirational, right? It shows it should encourage anyone that's out there building their own dream, pursuing their own vision to just keep going, right? I've been deep into even the Mardi Gras guide and that reading the story of Mr. Hardy, who even started this guide, sharing all of the information and the facts about Mardi Gras. It took him to keep going, right? If he had stopped at any moment, we would be lost without the information that we needed, right? If someone had given up on a dream, if someone had decided that it was going to be too much money to raise to fund the floats, to maintain the floats, right? If someone had decided that not another year, we don't really have to do this, right? I learned that Mardi Gras has, in the 100, I believe 17 years that Mardi Gras has gone on to date, they've only canceled it 14 times, and that was for war. That is determination. That is resilience, and it's on a very high scale because all of these organizations are communicating with each other for this to even manifest, right? There's got to be board or crew or they are managing all of the logistics of shutting a city down for 47 days with parades and celebration in honor of their religious beliefs, right? Like, that's not a small feat. And that should really, really inspire anyone that has a dream, because it has certainly inspired me. It has, watching the way that it has all gone out. It's all unfolded in over the past 4 or 5 days. It's just been like, wow, this is not organized by the city. The city issues the permits and the ordinances that are to be followed. But this entire production and tradition that is carried on for many, many years, it's all done by the social clubs and the crews. The crews and the reenactment of the crew members. The crew members are the founding members, essentially. They are what typically the parades are named after. And, for anyone who is a Mardi Gras fan, there's question about, okay, did Mardi Gras originate in Mobile or did Mardi Gras originate in New Orleans, right? And so leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think, what you believe. I've gotten mixed information. I have people in New Orleans telling me New Orleans. I have people in New Orleans telling me Mobile. I have people from Mobile telling me Mobile, right? I'm from Alabama, right? And so, but not Mobile, Alabama. And so either way, it doesn't make me much of a difference. But what I've learned is it true that Mobile celebrated Mardi Gras before New Orleans? That's the question at hand. And I've learned that the answer is yes, and the answer is no. New Orleans' first carnival crew was founded in 1857 by former members of Mobile's, um, one of their societies, which was founded in 1830. However, I believe that New Orleans was the first originator of the parade because Mobile's parades were held on New Year's Eve, whereas the carnival season and culmination of Farewell to Flesh originated in New Orleans. So it really depends on what information are you asking, right? The first acknowledgement of Mardi Gras absolutely happened in Mobile, yes, from members. And even when it was established in New Orleans, it was established through members from Mobile's, some of their societies. And so it's a yes and it's a no answer, right? But I have to know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments. Well, I am going to wrap it up, but wow, what a weekend. And my biggest takeaway for you on this particular episode is to know that living, achieving success, whatever that looks like for you, comes through determination. It comes through overcoming obstacles and challenges. It comes through like sitting back and taking the time to be present in the moment, right? Not allowing distractions, the bad to overshadow the good, but remembering to live every single day, knowing that you've only got this one life to do it. That's what I would leave you with on this particular episode. Mardi Gras owes me nothing in 2026. I have had a blast despite, right? And that makes this successful. Um, and that's how you achieve any level of success. Because if you stop at the first obstacle, challenge, or moment that you're faced with resistance, you won't get to where you're trying to get to. And what you don't realize is those moments are shaping you. They're producing your endurance. They're producing your patience, right? They're morphing you into exactly who God has created you to be. And so, thank you so much, as always, for tuning in, subscribing, share this, like this, comment, and let me know your thoughts. And of course, as I'm traveling the world, if you don't know this about me already, I am Larissa Nicole. I help you rediscover peace within yourself and the world around you. But I'm also a travel agent, right? I'd love to help you book your trip, your next trip to Mardi Gras, or maybe even perhaps a cruise out of the New Orleans cruise port so that you can come and get some food. Oh my gosh, I didn't talk about the food. There's so much that I could really just get into in this episode. I didn't even get into the food, y'all. I just finished eating Chinese, and it's a bit different because I was telling my friend that I love seafood. And then I'm going to wrap this episode up for real. I love seafood. I was telling my friend that I always have to order extra shrimp and everything because I'm a seafood girly. So I want to feel my shrimp. I want to taste them in every bite. I want my seafood to be heavy in anything that I eat it in. So I'm always ordering extra shrimp in my fried rice, extra shrimp on my pita, extra shrimp on my salad. I want extra shrimp. Come to New Orleans, baby. Shrimp is the bare minimum you're going to get in everything. Okay. You're going to get ground beef, probably, and shrimp in everything. All rice comes with that as a minimum, right? So I had loaded shrimp fried rice. I didn't have to ask for no extra because every bite had shrimp in it. I had, okay, sweet and sour chicken, Chinese sweet and sour chicken, not the saucy kind. For those of you who know, if you know, you know, imagine that, but done differently, right? That almost looks like it's kind of been packaged and deep fried, right? Because it's in those like round circles. Whereas this has been chicken breast flattened, right? Fried and cut into pieces. A huge chicken egg roll. Like, baby, eating for days. I've had crawfish. I have had oysters. I have had catfish. What else? I have had king cake. Oh my gosh, the tradition behind king cake. I've had beignets. I've had fabulous breakfast, fried apples and hash brown casserole. New Orleans owes me Nolans owes me nothing, absolutely nothing. That's why I ain't even, the phone is what it is, right? Like you could have been, right? Think back to that scenario that just had you so consumed that it disrupted your peace and it disrupted the peace of everyone around you, right? And think about how you could do that situation different next time, right? Because, baby, I just wasn't letting it be. And the fact of the matter is that we have that same level of authority and we can operate from that same space in every aspect of our lives. And so I love you so much. I do. Thank you so much for tuning in to season 2, episode 4. I said what I said from New Orleans, Louisiana, Mardi Gras 2026. Signing off. Love you.
Say it proud. I said what I said, no back.